The narrative begins by revealing that a devastating deadly plague spread across the world, causing a global zombie pandemic. Civilization was completely ruined and practically ceased to exist. The zombies in this scenario are unlike any others ever known. They cannot go out during the day because the intense sunlight consumes them. For this reason, they only roam at night, in a manner similar to dark vampires. Then a man named Rourke appears, and it is shown that he travels through various places eliminating dangerous zombies. He enters an abandoned store and finds a zombie trapped inside an old refrigerator. He quickly takes this refrigerator outside and opens it carefully. A female zombie emerges and begins to burn under the scorching sun. Rourke remains watching as she disintegrates and in the end leaves silently. Some time later, night falls and Rourke falls asleep, exhausted. He dreams of his wife Katie, who passed away some time ago. He awakens abruptly and shows deep sadness. From that point on, it is revealed that zombies murdered his wife Katie, which is why he travels tirelessly to exterminate them in every possible place. Rourke enters an abandoned house to eliminate the zombies present in it. Upon entering, he finds a zombie in front of him and begins to shoot at it, but nothing happens unexpectedly. Rourke is surprised and approaches this supposed zombie, only to realize that it is not an undead, but rather a young ordinary survivor. Now, before Rourke can leave the house, a group of zombies suddenly attacks him violently. He quickly begins to eliminate them and manages to take them all down except one, which manages to attack him. However, Rourke repels it, shoots again, and eliminates it definitively. A short time later, Rourke is seen sitting on the roof of a house, marking his rifle with another scratch. Each mark on his rifle symbolizes a zombie killed by Rourke. While he remains there, he hears a strange noise coming from the deserted street. He decides to investigate and finds a disturbed woman sitting in the middle of the road. This woman is holding a child and insists that it is her son. Soon after, a police vehicle arrives and stops in front of this confused woman. 4 individuals get out of the vehicle, including a young woman named Sam. One of them, called Mike, approaches the fallen woman to understand the situation. However, suddenly, a gang appears at the scene and shoots at Mike, who dies immediately. In reality, it is a planned ambush, and the woman on the ground is part of the criminal group. The gang appears from several directions and begins shooting at Sam and her companions until almost all are killed, except Sam. They then surround Sam and try to brutally assault her. But suddenly, Rourke appears and begins shooting at the attackers. He eliminates each member of the gang quickly and precisely. Even the gang leader Lore manages to wound him slightly, but does not kill him. Before that, Rourke questions about the disturbed woman lying on the ground. The leader reveals that her name is Annabella, an unstable woman who lost her sanity after the death of her child. He and his group found her wandering on the road, so they took her in and she began helping them in ambushes against survivors. Rourke abandons the gang leader to his own fate and walks away from the place. As for Sam, she approaches Annabella and suggests that she go with her to a safe place where they can live together. Annabella accepts and decides to accompany her without resistance. Both then go to Rourke and Sam asks him to take them to a certain place where her group resides. In return, she promises to provide enough supplies and ammunition. Rourke accepts the proposal and decides to take Sam and Annabella with him. A short time later, they all arrive at a point very close to the shelter of Sam's group. At that moment, it is already night, and the zombies begin to appear again. But Rourke remains determined and continues his path to the prison where the group is hiding. As soon as Sam approaches the prison, she communicates with a member named Ethan, who monitors everything through cameras. Sam informs that she is arriving, and that zombies are chasing her, asking for the gate to be opened quickly so that everyone can enter safely. Ethan promptly agrees, leaves his position, and goes to gather the other members. The first person he looks for is Chris, Mike's brother, who had been killed earlier by the gang. Then both go to Frank, the group leader and Ethan's father. They call him along with the other men, open the prison gates, and begin to fight the zombies alongside Rourke and the other survivors. Everyone manages to enter the prison and begins to close the gate with effort. At that moment, Rourke notices a specific zombie and almost loses control upon seeing it, trying to reach it to eliminate it, but the gate closes quickly. Rourke does not have the opportunity to kill that particular zombie at that moment. Frank, Ethan, Chris, and the other men then gather with Rourke and Sam, questioning Sam about what happened to Mike and the other members of the group who were previously with her. Sam reports that all of them had been killed by a violent gang, and that Rourke was responsible for saving her and bringing her to that safe place. At that moment, an individual named Dugan states that Rourke could actually be allied with the gang, but later turned against them, eliminating them, and then brought Sam there with the objective of killing everyone and taking all the ammunition and other available resources. Because of this, Chris begins to believe this version and starts accusing Rourke of having murdered his brother Mike, creating an atmosphere of growing tension. The situation quickly intensifies, leading everyone to argue and clash with each other in an uncontrolled way. However, Sam manages to impose silence on the group and decides to speak directly with Frank. She reveals that she, Mike, and the other survivors who were with her managed to locate a functional airplane. The news causes general excitement among everyone. Then it is clarified that Sam, Mike, and her companions had previously set out in search of an aircraft to escape that dangerous place and reach an isolated colony where only humans live safely and zombies cannot reach under any circumstances. Thus, everyone would have the opportunity to go there and restart their lives with hope. Sam then leads Frank, Rourke, and the others to a reserved room where she begins a detailed explanation of the map, indicating the exact location of the airplane. At that moment, it is discovered that a member of the group named Vince is an experienced pilot and would be responsible for flying the aircraft during the planned escape. It is decided by everyone that at dawn the next day, they will use available vehicles to travel to the location where the airplane is. Later, Frank talks to Rourke and states that the next day he will deliver everything that had been agreed with Sam, but makes it clear that he will not allow him to remain armed during the night inside the place, because he still does not fully trust him. Because of this, Rourke shows some irritation, but ends up being convinced by Sam to hand over his weapon, reluctantly accepting the decision. Ethan then accompanies Rourke to the place where he will spend the night. During the way, Ethan talks to him and explains that his father, Frank, is a fair and kind person, but acts this way out of pure caution and not out of malice, especially after being deeply shaken since his other son, Ethan's brother named Raven, turned into a zombie. Rourke shows understanding regarding the situation and then questions Ethan about the enormous zombie he had seen earlier at the gate and that he intended to eliminate. Ethan explains that that zombie is completely different from the others, as it shows unusual intelligence, being able to gather other zombies around it and even communicate with them in an incomprehensible way. Intrigued, Ethan asks Rourke why he showed so much interest in eliminating that specific zombie, but Rourke refuses to reveal the reason. Then he settles into the cell where he will spend the night. Shortly after, Sam arrives at the place and also questions about the enormous zombie and the reason Rourke wants to kill it. At that moment, Rourke admits that that zombie was responsible for turning his wife, Katie, into a creature, which is why he seeks revenge. It is then revealed that this imposing zombie is known as Alpha. Sometime later, Ethan is monitoring the security cameras when he suddenly notices that they have been mysteriously turned off. He immediately calls Chris and Frank to show what happened. Without understanding who could have caused this, soon after everyone hears gunshots echoing through the place. It becomes evident that a zombie managed to invade the area and was responsible for disabling the surveillance system. Then it is confirmed that one of the zombies is inside the place, wandering and attacking anyone who crosses its path. Before the beast attacks the other inhabitants of the place, Rourke appears and manages to eliminate it efficiently. After the zombie's death, it is discovered that one of the fighters was injured during the confrontation and is beginning to transform, being inevitably eliminated amid a moment of collective sadness. The next day, everyone prepares to leave the prison and head toward the airplane, but when they try to open the main gate, they realize that it does not work. Faced with this, they choose to use another exit, at which moment they make a shocking discovery. All the vehicles that would be used for the escape were completely destroyed, and the zombies positioned the wreckage blocking the garage entrance, preventing any attempt to open the gate. It becomes clear that the zombies organized this action strategically to prevent any possibility of escape and eliminate everyone inside. Faced with this critical situation, everyone gathers in Frank's room to discuss alternatives and find a viable solution to escape. Some suggest taking advantage of daylight to remove the destroyed cars, find other vehicles and escape quickly, but this proposal is considered imprudent because during the night the zombies would return and reposition the obstacles as if nothing had been done before. In this context, Rourke decides to intervene and presents a bold idea. He proposes that they provide him with weapons and explosives so that he can go to the hotel where Alpha and his army are gathered, with the objective of eliminating Alpha definitively. According to him, with Alpha's death, the zombies would lose their organization and disperse, allowing everyone to escape safely without being attacked. Although it is a risky and apparently insane plan, the group decides to accept it as it is the only plausible alternative at that moment. Thus, the next day, Rourke departs accompanied by Chris, Ethan, a man named Vlad, and another named Drew, beginning an extremely dangerous and decisive mission. They all decide to head to the hotel where Alpha is, determined to eliminate him once and for all. Meanwhile, Sam and some survivors choose to go out in search of vehicles that would enable escape from that dangerous place. The narrative follows Rourke and his group, who finally reach the hotel where Alpha and his followers are gathered. Upon entering the building, they advance cautiously through the dark corridors while searching for Alpha. It does not take long before they encounter a zombie attacking a person and feeding on them. It is quickly eliminated by the group, and then they continue the search. They keep exploring the place until they reach the basement, where they find a large concentration of zombies together with Alpha asleep. He follows Rourke's guidance and crosses the pile of zombies carefully. At that critical moment, Drew grabs an explosive and tries to detonate it right there. But before he can act, he is surprised and killed by a zombie, causing all the others to wake up immediately. Because of this, Rourke and the others flee urgently and end up separating during the chaotic escape. Even while retreating, they continue fighting and killing all the zombies that appear in their path with extreme difficulty. During this confrontation, Vlad ends up being bitten, but even injured, he shows bravery and continues fighting the creatures with impressive determination. Knowing that he would transform, he decides to sacrifice himself using a grenade and take more zombie creatures to a destructive end. Meanwhile, Chris wanders alone through the building when he is surprised by one of the creatures that drags him into the darkness and kills him. Amid the chaos, Rourke and Ethan manage to reach the hotel rooftop, but realize that Chris is not present, remembering that he was carrying the rope essential for escape. Therefore, they decide to go down again to look for him until they find him already dead, a victim of the zombies. Ethan shows deep sadness and takes the rope that was with Chris. At that moment, new zombies appear and attack Ethan, but Rourke quickly intervenes, eliminates the threats, and helps him escape. Both return to the rooftop in an attempt to flee. However, Ethan reveals that he was also bitten during the attack, and because of this asks Rourke to kill him. With evident sorrow, Rourke fulfills the request and eliminates him. Then he uses the rope to descend from the building, while several zombies chase him relentlessly, forcing him to keep fleeing desperately. Meanwhile, Sam returns to the prison, bringing with her only a small car found along the way, insufficient for everyone. Shortly after, Dugan also arrives with another similar vehicle, but due to his selfish nature, he tries to convince Vince, the pilot, to abandon the others and leave only with him to get the airplane, a proposal that is immediately rejected. A short time later, another survivor returns, bringing a functional bus capable of transporting everyone safely, which generates collective relief, although the calm lasts little. This is because Rourke arrives soon after being chased by an immense horde of hungry zombies. Faced with this imminent threat, everyone begins shooting, retreats strategically, and enters the prison to protect themselves, except for Dugan, who tries to flee alone but ends up being killed by the zombies. Inside the prison, Rourke and the others face the invaders with courage and resistance, although many lives are lost during the confrontation, including Frank's. Even so, no one gives up, remaining firm in the fight for survival. Amid the intense battle, Rourke suddenly comes face to face with Alpha, becoming consumed by fury and initiating a brutal fight against him. The fight between the two is violent and prolonged, But Rourke shows cunning by leading Alpha to the rooftop of the building. There, with the dawn, the sunlight begins to burn him, weakening him until it leads to his death in front of Rourke. With this, Rourke feels that he has finally avenged his wife Katie, who had been transformed by Alpha. In the end, the danger gradually disappears and the situation stabilizes. Rourke then says goodbye to Sam, Vince, and the others, wishing that they manage to reach the airplane and arrive at the colony safely. As for him, he decides to continue his solitary journey through the devastated world, eliminating zombies tirelessly until reducing their threat as much as possible. Finally, he ends his farewell and follows his own uncertain path, while Sam and the others also depart, leaving in the air the doubt about a possible future reunion between them at some point.